It's Saturday, April 16th. And I have a question. It's going to be one of those controversial questions where if somebody watches all of this, they're going to be really mad. And it's probably not very politically correct. So that's going to be even more people get mad. Sorry, I'm merging. So I just stopped at a rest stop on my way between Memphis and Tennessee, going east. And I've stopped at this place a couple times. And I walk into the bathroom, and what do I see? I see a sign that says no foot washing in the bathroom. Like, who's foot washing in the bathroom? Who's washing their feet in the bathroom? And then it's like, that's right. It's probably the same people that bring water bottles into the bathrooms and leave them. I'm not gonna say anything about you using the water bottles, but leaving them. You nasty fuckers. And my question is I know that everybody knows who I'm talking about without saying it, but I'm gonna use descriptive terms in a geographic sense. Why is it that people that come from a Central Asian area and a east of Europe area, that general area, I think they're called the Middle East, because that kind of makes up everybody. It's kind of a column. It's kind of diagonal, but it's a column. It's a steady column. It's a steady group. And I've had this conversation with a few people in the past. Not very in-depth, but I've had this conversation. Why? Why is it those areas have not learned to just get with the program of time? Because I know a lot of these people do what they do because of a cultural reason. Or a religious reason. Alright, dude, are you going to pass me? You're going to hold up traffic for 2 miles. Sorry, I had this dummy in a Kenworth behind me trying to pass me after I emerged from that rest area. And there's literally like a mile of people behind him because he's trying to pass me and can't. Anyways, back to what I'm saying. It's usually the reason they do what they do is a religious sense. Well, from my understanding, and I don't know much, but I've watched a lot of documentaries. Like a lot. Like I'd rather watch a documentary on History Channel or Discovery Channel over anything else. Like I love documentaries. I love watching History Channel. I love watching Discovery Channel. Itch. But from my understanding, the water bottle, the feet washing, the reason they do what they do and the way they are, the reason how they act is religious. Alright? Well, here's the thing. A lot of the reason those, we'll say, actions were a thing is because back in the day, people were nasty fuckers. Back in the day, 90% of the people that died from just unknown reasons is because, like, they got poked with a stick with poop on it. It's bacteria. It's a hygiene issue. Alright, people, nowadays, it's the 21st century. We're in 2022. We have showers. We have fucking baby wipes. Alright, people? Evolve your ignorant asses with the times. Like, we'll talk about something that nobody can really get hissy about. Okay, Jews. They're not supposed to eat pork. Alright? That's a religious thing. They're not supposed to eat cloven-hooved animals. If I'm not mistaken, it's cloven-hooved. That's the thing it says in the Bible. But it's pigs. We're not supposed to eat bacon. Or they're not supposed to eat. I'm not Jewish. Let's clarify that. They're not supposed to eat bacon. Alright? That was because, back in the day, people didn't cook the meat all the way. They didn't know, hey, if you cook it to a certain degree, it kills all the bacteria. That's why we can eat pork now. Like, openly. Like, there's literally no blinkers. Get some on damn nerves. Like, they're literally gotten to the point where they have bred a specific type of pork that can be eaten slightly raw. Like pork steaks, you can get like a medium rare pork steak and it not kill you. It's okay to eat. But like the reason that was a thing is because back in the day, like a lot of people died from not cooking the pork all the way. And a reason, from my understanding, because it was such a big issue, the people of religious power said, hey, don't eat pork. We're cutting pork out of our diet. If you're Jewish, you can't eat pork. Because people are more likely to follow, we'll say a decree, because back in the day it was more like a decree, if it was a religious decree. Because back in the day, like, religion was higher than law. That's why there were like whole continents in war with each other because of religion, not politics. Even though 90% of the time it was the politics of the religious people. But that's not what we're talking about. We live in a day and age where we have freaking blow dryers in the bathroom that have UV lights on them to help counteract the bacteria that would be caused from the hot air blowing and moisture. Hot air with moisture creates bacteria. Well, you know what? UV lights kill bacteria. That's why a lot of ways people clean things now is with a UV light. A UV light has a lot of uses, but one of them is that if it's the right kind of light, because it has to be a certain frequency of light rays, don't know what it is, so I'm not going to go into it, but it kills bacteria. That's why it sterilizes. So, like, come on, people. Get with the program. Or at least have the common decency to not be a, like, fucking tard. Like, you don't have to use a fucking water bottle. There's toilet paper. Alright? Or fuck, bring your own wipes. But don't bring a fucking water bottle and then leave it. Don't fucking take your shoes off or no, not even shoes, have fucking flip-flops and sandals with the funky ass feet, people. Go outside, use a water bottle. Use that for your water bottle. But like, come on, people. Most of the reason that these people of these cultures have these things is because it was how they were keeping their people alive because of all the issues of keeping people alive in that time period. Because all you gotta do is, like, get a stick with poo on it and poke somebody and they're dead in a week. And all these religions are from that time period. Is when they got, like, big. Like, come on. You don't have to use a water bottle anymore, people. You have toilet paper. Or wipes that are flushable. Flushable wipes. You don't have to put your fucking feet in the fucking sink. You have wipes. Or your water bottle. Like, why is it that it's that, like, that particular area of cultural people that are just asinine and stuck and their freaking cavemanish time methods. Like, evolve, people, evolve. Realize that 90% of the reason why that was a thing when it was a thing was because of the times. I hate freaking Jackson and their damn construction. And nobody knows how to do the freaking speed limit in construction zones. Like, I'm doing 55. That's what's posted at. And I'm being passed by everybody. Cars, other trucks. It's annoying. Slow down the construction zones, people. Slow down the construction zones. There's a reason the road is like going across the freaking back road with the potholes and the unevenness. It's to get you to slow down. Not for you to bitch about it and then just keep going at like 70 miles an hour through a construction zone. Anyways, back to what I was saying. All these religious practices were because of a cultural issue. And they knew that all the people were so like I'm sorry, but like when it comes to like the Middle East, like those people are like, I'm sorry, it's not at a religious point. It's at like a cult point of like how hardwired, hardcore drinking the fucking Kool-Aid they are about the way they do things. Like, it's no longer religion, it's a cult. In the way they in the way they follow it to a T. Like, I mean, if it says you don't look left on Thursday, these people aren't turning their head at midnight on Wednesday. Like, that's what I mean by cult. That's what I mean by, like, these people are like, it's almost like a brainwashing. And I get that that's where the cultural part of it comes in. So I'm not saying your culture or religion is bad. By any means. I'm not saying it's bad at all. I'm just saying, bring it to the 21st century. You're following practices that are from like 300 BC. Alright, it's been about 2,000 years. You can kind of tweak it to the times. You can adjust it to the times. Like, there are Jewish people that eat bacon now. There are Jewish people that eat pork because they understood the reason that it was what it was, or the rule was what it was when it was because they couldn't cook the meat properly because of bacteria. Like, they have adapted their religious practice with the times because of the understanding of why it was what it was when it was made what it was. They're like, oh, okay, so the reason we couldn't eat pork then is because we couldn't cook it right. So now we know how to cook it right, so it's not going to kill us. Because that was one of the big issues back then, is like they couldn't cook it right, so it was killing people. Slowly, painfully. Like, imagine your stomach killing you because of like a really bad indigestion. That's kind of what the bacteria in the pork did back then, or will do if you don't cook it right. But like, come on, people. You come to a country that is known for being the most prosperous because of our free will or our freedoms. People might argue that, but hey, I can do this here. I couldn't do this anywhere else. When you come to a country of freedom and whatnot, stop doing what you did there because of them here. Like, don't bring Don't bring your shit here and keep doing it. And then get pissy because people bitch about it. Because people are like, fuck, this is this. We're not there. You don't have to keep doing that. Like here. Like, come on, people. Adapt your ways to the time. Hell, Christianity did that with 90% of the religions that we absorbed. Why do you think we have Christmas on the day we have Christmas? Why do you think we have Halloween on the day we have Halloween? Why do you think we adapted a Egyptian calendar? Why do you think the days of the week, you know where those come from? Norse mythology. We adapted. Like, that's the reason we have those things, if you didn't know. Adapt. I'm not saying don't keep following your religion. I'm not saying don't keep following your practices. But realize, you don't gotta keep being fucking third world country people in a 21st century country. Which that's a whole other video I have that I've had that discussion with multiple people about how, really? Third world countries are gonna stay third world countries because they're not doing anything themselves technologically. They're not developing anything themselves. They're just copying or taking our things. That's why we've got freaking people in Nigeria and Africa, that are still living in huts and grass houses, but they're running around in freaking Nikes with a fucking iPhone and a Bluetooth. But they're still fighting off lions and hyenas and shit with spears. But they're running around with Nikes and Bluetooths. I'm not saying they shouldn't have these things, but come on. Like, it's a conversation I've had with numerous people, and they're like, that kind of makes sense. Like, we need to, like, pull out of places like that, like Africa, just leave them alone. Stop doing shit with them. Let them figure it out to the point where they can become, what is the word? Stable. Like, heck, Africa doesn't have a country or a central government. And I'm not saying they should have a central government for the whole continent, but like they have like almost no government for the individual countries. Like, they're still running on, like, warlords and, like, the guy with the biggest stick wins. Like, India. India's at least to the point where they have a government, but they're still to the point where, like, they're still, like, third world in the sense of, like, their society structure, like building-wise infrastructure, is adapted from like 50 years ago, and it's new to them, from what I understand, from what I've seen. Like, you can watch any documentary where they're in like India. The shit looks like it's in the 80s. Because they're just adapting old technology that like everybody's giving them instead of them developing it. Or not necessarily them developing it, but them incorporating it into their society. But then there's a lot of things that's cultural, which I'm not knocking, but like the Middle East, like the legit Middle East, like the desert Middle East. All those places, they're still running everything around like warlords. Even though they have central government, they have a government, they have a country, they have a governmental structural state. But it does nothing for all the people that live out in this desert that treat everything like it's still back in the Cowboys and Indian days. And that's why we keep having wars with them or fights with them. It's because they want to live like it was back in the day, and because 90% of the country is a sandbox, they can do it because there's no way that they can just centralize everything. Because all it takes is one gusty day and you can't see where anything was yesterday. And again, this isn't me knocking them down for what they are or just what. It's just like, can we not realize that we're in the 21st century? We're in a time period where we're like, we have telescopes that see into other galaxies. Like, we have vehicles that, like, run on batteries. Even though it's very controversial. But, like, it no longer is required that, like, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars developing something like a part or a mechanics thing. Like, we have 3D printers that if you need to design something to check fitment, you can just print it in a couple hours instead of having to go to a machinist and be like, hey, I need to make this, and it needs to be to this scale. And it takes him 3 months to machine all the parts right out of metal that's really expensive. And if he does something wrong on one thing because he forgot to adjust a dial, the whole thing has to be thrown out and started over. That we can just 3D print the thing with a CAD model and then take it to him and be like, this is exactly what it needs to look like. I just need it made out of metal so that it's stronger and durable. More durable. Like, we live in that day and time where a dude with a 3D printer and just time and a knack for modeling can make anything. Hell, you can 3D print a gun. Everything but the barrel and most of the firing mechanism. You can 3D print a gun. Another controversial topic that I'm not going to go into. It's just for, like, that's the day and age we live in. Like, we live in the day and age of cell phones, satellite radio, and, like, freaking, like, if I want to check the weather, I just pull up my phone and look at my radar app. Yet we still have people that are living in a country to where they won't wipe their ass because it's against their religion that their hands touch their ass. That's my understanding of it. Or no, not their ass. It's against their religion for their hands to be come into contact with fecal matter or something like something. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you understand what I'm getting at. Like, come on, people. Move a couple steps forward into the modern era. There's a reason that was a thing for your religion back then. Back in the days when, like, the year was only 3 digits. There was a reason that was what it was back in the year when the total sum of the digits in the year was, like, 10. Like, these religions were made, or these religions were founded and orchestrated in a time period when the only way to have light at night is if you had a torch. And I'm not talking about a fucking flashlight, you British fuckers. Like, if you wanted food, you had to go hunt it, kill it, gut it, skin it, and then make a fire with fucking flint and steel. Or rubbing sticks together. Like, every other religion in the world has adapted to modern times because they understand that the origin of those practices was because of hygiene at the time. The origin of those practices was because of the way things were done in the time. It's 2022! Get with the program, people. Assimilate a little bit. Quit making yourself the odd man out. I'm not saying you gotta convert religions, but you can assimilate the way you act. You can assimilate in the way that you do things from your day-to-day life. As the old saying goes, the nail sticking up gets hammered. So a lot of the people that have issues with religion-based people, or the issues that we have because of issues religiously, are because you're sticking out. And I'm not saying that you're sticking out because of religion. I'm saying you're sticking out because of the way you're acting in regards to your religion. Okay? You have a hygiene issue because of your religion. Okay, well, you can still be hygienic. Just stop taking fucking water bottles in the bathroom with water or whatever the fuck you're using in them. There's toilet paper. There's a sink with soap. Do your business, go wash your hands, not your feet. Like, come on, people. You can still do your religious practices without putting a big freaking, like, neon sign over your head, like, I'm different, I'm gonna, like, be the eyesore. I'm going to be the religious outcast visually because of the way I do things. And again, like, I'm not saying don't practice your religion to its outlines or its practices. But those practices need to be adapted to the modern times. Like, come on, people. Again, I will say it's 2022. We have ways to do and continue your practices. That is a better way. That's the biggest thing I have to say. I'm not saying change for the worse. I'm not saying change to like not do it. I'm saying do it more effectively in the time period that we have, or that we're in. We're in a time period we don't have to use a fucking water bottle. We're in a time period where you can do anything and everything. But you're choosing to do it the old way. You're choosing to do it the way that it's been done forever. When there's a way that you can do it that's less likely to put a big freaking bullseye on their back to be prosecuted or judged or made fun of or discriminated against. Like, in my opinion, the biggest issue most people have with other people, like religion and cultural differences, is because the person in context is being different or difficult with the way they want to do what they're doing. Which again, I get that's part about being people, that you're gonna be unique, you're gonna stand out in your own way. But you don't have to paint a big bullseye on your back to be like, look at me, look at me. some of the weirdest, dumbest shit from the cultural people that I'm talking about, without naming specifics, because I don't know the specifics. I don't know exactly what that's coming from, but I know the rough ideal of where they're at, continent or geographically. Now I know a lot of the people in that Middle Eastern area, that religions, there's some in Africa. Okay, so I think there's a couple in South America. Like that's their religion, and that it's old religion. And like that's what I'm getting at. Like you're stuck in the past with your practices, and a lot of your practices were because of the time. Like those issues that started those practices in the time that they were started are no longer an issue for the most part. Like you don't have to worry about the bacteria in pork. We have penicillin. The hygiene of 90% of the people on the planet is pretty decent. The facilities used to go to the bathroom on are pretty clean 90% of the time, because they're clean pretty regularly. Like it is literally a job now that someone goes cleans the bathroom. But for those few that I'm referring to are the ones that usually fuck the bathroom up the most, that make it harder on the people that its job is to keep that bathroom hygienic, because of y'all dumbasses. Like wanting to wash your damn feet in the sink or use the damn water bottle in the bathroom instead of the toilet paper that's sitting right there, and then you leave it because it's touched your ass and you don't want to touch it now because your religion says you can't touch your ass. But like, come on, people. Realize 21st century. Toilet paper, soap, public bathrooms that are cleaned regularly, wipes that flush. Like all these things you can use instead of that damn water bottle. All these things you can use instead of sticking your foot up in the fucking sink. All these things that you can do that would still fall in the parameters, I'm guessing, because like again, I don't know all the parameters of your religion or your cultural beliefs or practices that determine that, hey, I've got to wash my feet every day. I've got to wash my feet when I do this. I just took a shit and I can't use my hands to touch my ass. Toilet paper, wipes, fucking hand sanitizer, antibacterial soap. There's ways to do what you're doing without being a burden on the rest of the people and putting a damn neon sign on your head saying, I'm different. Look at me. Make fun of me. Hate me for the way I am. All of the above. Stop being the nail sticking up to get hammered. Assimilate some. Adapt. First century people, this is America. You can do just about anything you want, anywhere you want, anyhow you want. But just remember, there's all the other people that are doing the same thing. And if you're going to hinder other people by doing what you're going to do, it's not okay. Like, okay, squirrel, left turn, squirrel. All these people that are all upset about, my belief is this, my belief is that, and my opinion That's what's wrong with these people. Everybody has the mindset. My opinion matters more than yours. No. Your opinion matters just about as much, if not slightly less, than everyone else's. But then that also turns around as everyone else's opinion is just as much, if not less, than yours. That's the whole people are created equal thing comes into play. Or not all things are created equal. Or scratch that. Okay, that's something else. When you get into these tangents, you get a little confused. Yeah, all these tofu fairies. And good Lord, there's a freaking cookie cutter to these people nowadays. My theory is you could cure all this crap with a little bit of corporal punishment as a child and a little bit more stricter guidelines on what you're allowed to do until a certain age. Now, I'm not saying we need to beat people, but I'm sorry, but if someone does something stupid or something that's stupid or wrong, we need to go back to smacking them upside the back of the head. I'm sorry. If you're doing something stupid or wrong, you need to give smack. Just that little like, hey, stop doing that. Just that little bitty adjustment, a little thought adjuster. To make people realize that's not okay. Doing that's not okay. Thinking that's not okay. Thinking and doing that at the same time is not okay. Because hell, this country's more at war with itself than we've been with any other people or place. Like the only thing that get this country back to being a joint force is another world war, or hopefully God be not another like terrorist attack. Because that's the only time in this country that everybody, one thought, one track, goal, joint effort to meet a goal. But heck, even that might have a couple of these tofu fairies not wanting to get on the bandwagon to be one sound thought and mind on one goal. But that's where you need a couple people to come around and go, hey, this isn't about the singles, this is about the whole. Get your shit together. This isn't about your opinion. Oh, I don't want to do that because it might hurt somebody. Like, fucker, if we don't do that, they're going to hurt us. If we don't do this or do that, you're no longer going to have the option to not do it if they come over here, kind of thing. Like a lot of people say we're the greatest country in the world. In certain aspects, yes. In other aspects, no. All these people that are bitching and whining, and I don't believe that, or that's not right. You go to any other country in the world, those thoughts could get you arrested, possibly. Somebody beating the shit out of you for thinking that, or dead because of your thoughts. But like, seriously. washing your feet in the bathroom sinks and you're leaving your damn water bottles in the stalls. Okay? Like that was the main topic of this. And then another side note, why the fuck are the toilet paper dispensers always low? Who the hell is that helping? Who is it helping that the toilet paper dispensers being at thigh level or lower? And they're always right next to the fucking toilet. Who is that helping? That's not helping anybody. They need to be higher up. Like, your fucking toilet paper dispenser should be at about shoulder level, not thigh. And another side note, whose bright idea was it to start mounting all public toilets on the wall instead of the floor? Huh? Have we forgotten that 90% of this country is obese? Us fat fuckers are a little like, I don't want to sit on that porcelain toilet that's hanging from 2 bolts on the wall. Because have we not forgotten that porcelain is not that structurally sturdy? Like, if someone sits down on that toilet too hard, or hell, just too fast, you can crack that porcelain off around that bolt. Or God forbid, you'll pull the damn toilet off the wall because of the stud that's holding it up. Was it designed to hold 400 pounds of person up? Or if God forsake more. Like, I get that it's not a good issue. It's not a good problem. That 90% of the people in America are probably fat fuckers. But we are. And you, in all these new places being built and whatnot, I'm not saying you gotta make us a fat bathroom, but you can accommodate a little wider stall, a little higher toilet paper dispenser, not putting them on the wall. Like, come on. Who bright idea was it to put public toilets on the wall? Like, come on, people. I'll admit, I'm a fat ass. Every time I sit on one, I feel like I'm gonna pull it off the damn wall. Now, there is an exception to that. I have ran across a couple that were metal. They were like prison toilets, basically. They were very industrial. They were like stamped out of metal. And they didn't feel like they were going to fall off the wall. They were cold as fuck on my ass. But I didn't feel like I was going to break the porcelain and fall on the damn wall and have water gushing all over me. But yeah, conclusion thought. Adapt. Take a good look at your, we'll say, cultural/religious beliefs or practices, and just think about how they affect the people around you. And realize, maybe that's not the place to do that. Maybe realize, hey, I could probably change how I do this just a little to make it less of an inconvenience for everybody else, for the people that come in here after me. No blinkers. Like, come on, people. It's right there on the column. I'm not saying that you can't practice your religious cultural belief. I'm not saying that it's wrong for the way you're doing something or that you're doing something. I'm just saying, look on how it affects the people around you that may not be of the same cultural, religious followings. Realize how much of a hindrance or just uncomfortable you make people by doing what you're doing. Enough to like, hey, maybe I can do this later. Hey, maybe I can do this somewhere else. So that I'm not creating a scene. So I'm not making everybody else around me feel uncomfortable because of what I'm doing. And on a side note, I'm going to add this. For all the people that for religious, cultural, whatever, you wash your feet. You know, if you wore socks and shoes, your feet wouldn't be so dirty. Especially in the trucking industry. Socks and shoes. Game changer. Fucking game changer. Yeah, that's the end of my rant. This has been 45 minutes. I might have to cut this down. Just a little. Not edited wise, just multiple videos wise. Because I have squirreled a few times, and this is just kind of a personal note to myself. Yeah, I'm done.